Ellen White witnessed the most earth-shattering vision ever recorded, the exact sequence of events that will unfold on the great day of the Lord. What she saw will demolish everything you think you know about Christ's return and expose the lies. Churches have been teaching for centuries. This isn't speculation. This isn't theology. This is an eyewitness account from someone who saw the future with her own eyes. Ellen White watched as the heavens opened, the earth convulsed, and humanity faced its final moment of truth. She witnessed who survives and who doesn't. She saw what happens to the wicked, and it's nothing like what most Christians expect. The great day is coming faster than you think. Are you prepared for what will really happen? Will you recognize the signs, or will you be caught completely off guard like billions of others? If you want to know the shocking truth that could save your eternal soul, subscribe now, because what Ellen White revealed will change everything you believe about the end times. The great day approaches. The truth can no longer be hidden. Ellen White witnessed the exact moment when human history ends and eternity begins, and what she saw will make your blood run cold. In The Great Controversy, she describes the split second when the great day of the Lord begins, catching an unprepared world completely off guard. It is at midnight that God manifests his power for the deliverance of his people. Ellen White saw this moment with terrifying clarity, the stroke of midnight when everything changes forever. But here's what will shock you. This isn't happening in some distant future. Ellen White saw our generation living through the final hours before this cosmic event. Could this be happening right now? Are we already in the countdown to midnight? The prophetess witnessed how this great day begins, not with obvious supernatural signs, but with something far more subtle and terrifying. The earth reels to and fro like a drunkard, Ellen White revealed. But at first, people dismiss these convulsions as natural phenomena. Think about it. How many natural disasters have we seen recently that defy scientific explanation? Ellen White saw exactly this pattern, increasing instability that the world tries to rationalize while missing the supernatural cause. She witnessed the exact sequence. First comes the voice of God speaking from heaven, announcing the day and hour of Christ's coming. His voice shakes not only the earth, but also heaven, Ellen White observed. Every person on the planet hears this voice simultaneously, regardless of language barriers. But here's the terrifying part. Ellen White saw that most people will refuse to believe what they're hearing. They will claim it's mass hallucination, atmospheric phenomena, or military technology, she revealed. Even when God himself speaks, they will seek natural explanations. This is not future. It's unfolding now. We're living in the generation that will experience this cosmic moment. Ellen White saw our time period with stunning accuracy. A world so skeptical, so hardened by materialism, that even divine intervention is explained away. The prophetess witnessed how this great day will expose the true spiritual condition of every person on earth. When God's voice is heard, the righteous are filled with unspeakable joy, Ellen White observed, but the wicked are seized with terror that no words can describe. She saw something that will challenge everything you've been taught about the end times. The great day doesn't begin with Christ appearing in the clouds. It begins with this supernatural voice that divides humanity into two eternal categories, those who recognize their Creator's voice and those who reject it. Ellen White witnessed the immediate aftermath of God's voice. Prison walls crumble and fall. God's people who have been imprisoned for their faith are miraculously set free. Chains fall from their hands and feet. Could faithful Christians already be imprisoned somewhere in the world right now? Ellen White saw this happening in our time. Believers locked away for refusing to compromise their faith, suddenly liberated by divine intervention. But the prophetess saw something even more shocking. The moment God speaks, probation closes forever. Every case has been decided, Ellen White revealed. There is no more opportunity for repentance. The righteous remain righteous still, and the filthy remain filthy still. Are you ready for that moment? When God's voice echoes across the earth, your eternal destiny will be sealed. No second chances, no more time to prepare, no opportunity to change your mind. Ellen White witnessed how this great day will fulfill Daniel's prophecy about a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation. But she saw that this trouble doesn't affect everyone equally. The righteous have nothing to fear, she observed. Their bread is given and their water is sure. The prophetess saw that the great day begins not in some distant Jerusalem or heavenly realm, but right here, right now, wherever you are. When God speaks from heaven, it will be heard in every home, every church, every government building on earth, Ellen White revealed. The great day is closer than you think. Ellen White saw the signs of its approach already manifesting in our world. The question isn't when it will happen. The question is, will you be ready when that supernatural voice shakes the heavens and the earth? This moment changes everything. Forever. Ellen White witnessed the most terrifying geological and cosmic events in human history, the moment when God's voice literally shakes the foundations of reality. What she saw will make you question everything you think you know about the stability of our world. The earth staggers like a drunken man. Mountains are carried into the midst of the sea. Ellen White saw our planet convulsing like a living thing in agony, and she witnessed exactly what triggers this cosmic earthquake. This isn't science fiction. This isn't metaphor. Ellen White saw the literal transformation of Earth's geography in a matter of hours. Islands flee away, and mountains are not found, she revealed. The familiar landmarks of Earth disappear forever. But here's what will terrify you most. Ellen White saw that this shaking affects more than just the physical world. She witnessed a spiritual shaking that separates the true from the false in every church, every denomination, every religious movement on earth. There is a mighty shaking among God's people, Ellen White observed. Many who appeared strong in faith are revealed to have been building on sand. When the shaking comes, they fall away and join the ranks of the opposition. Could this spiritual shaking already be happening in your church? Ellen White saw how crises reveal true character. When pressure comes, who stands firm and who compromises? The great day will expose everyone's real spiritual condition. The prophetess witnessed something that defies all scientific understanding. The laws of physics themselves begin to break down. The sun appears and hides, appears and hides. Ellen White revealed, the moon turns to blood, the stars fall from heaven like figs shaken from a tree. But Ellen White saw that these cosmic signs serve a specific purpose. They announce to the universe that the great controversy between good and evil has reached its climax. All creation witnesses the final battle between Christ and Satan, she observed. This is happening whether we believe it or not. Ellen White saw that skeptics will desperately try to explain these events through natural causes, even as their explanations become increasingly absurd. The prophetess witnessed how this great shaking affects different groups of people in dramatically different ways. The wicked flee to caves and rocks, crying for the mountains to fall on them, Ellen White revealed. But the righteous lift up their heads, knowing their redemption draws near. She saw something that will challenge your understanding of geography itself. The physical landscape of Earth is permanently altered during the great day. New mountains rise, new seas form. The Earth's very shape changes, Ellen White observed. But here's the most shocking revelation. Ellen White saw that this shaking is not random destruction. It's surgical precision. Every stronghold of wickedness is destroyed, she revealed. But the righteous are protected as if by invisible shields. Could you survive what Ellen White witnessed? She saw buildings collapse while the faithful inside remain unharmed. She witnessed natural disasters that specifically target the wicked while passing over the righteous, like the plagues of Egypt. The prophetess saw that this great shaking serves to purify the earth itself. Every trace of sin's corruption is being removed, Ellen White observed. The earth is being prepared for its restoration to Eden's glory. But Ellen White witnessed something that modern science cannot explain. During this shaking, the very atoms and molecules of matter begin to respond differently. The curse is being lifted from creation, she revealed. The physical laws that have governed since the fall are being transformed. This transformation affects more than just landscape. Ellen White saw how the great shaking changes the spiritual atmosphere of Earth. Satan's access to the planet is being cut off, she observed. His power over the natural world is being broken forever. The prophetess witnessed how this cosmic convulsion fulfills Haggai's prophecy. Yet once more I shake not the earth only, but also heaven. She saw this as the final preparation for Christ's return, clearing away everything that cannot stand the test of eternity. The great shaking has already begun. Ellen White saw the preliminary tremors in our time, the increasing instability in every area of life. Political shaking, economic shaking, religious shaking, natural shaking. Are you built on the rock, or will you be swept away when the final shaking comes? Ellen White witnessed the most spectacular miracle in cosmic history, the moment when death itself is defeated and graves burst open across the entire planet. What she saw will revolutionize your understanding of resurrection and expose the lies Satan has spread about life after death. I saw graves open, and those who had died in faith under the third angel's message came up glorified. Ellen White watched as death's iron grip is broken forever, but she saw something that will shock you. Not everyone rises at the same time. This isn't the general resurrection most Christians expect. Ellen White witnessed a special resurrection that occurs before Christ even appears in the clouds. Some who had been in the dust of the earth for many years come forth with immortal bodies, she revealed. But here's what will astound you. Ellen White saw exactly who participates in this preliminary resurrection. Those who died keeping the Sabbath commandment, those who were martyred for refusing to compromise God's law, those who proclaimed the three angels' messages and died in faith. Could some of these special resurrection candidates be dying right now? Ellen White saw our generation producing martyrs who will be raised for this magnificent event. Are faithful believers already paying the ultimate price for truth? The prophetess witnessed something that defies every law of biology. These resurrected bodies are not the frail forms that went into the grave. They come forth glorified, bearing the image of their Creator, Ellen White observed. Corruption has put on incorruption, mortal has put on immortality. But Ellen White saw that this special resurrection serves a specific purpose in God's plan. They rise to hear the covenant of peace that God makes with those who have kept His law, she revealed. They become witnesses to the universe of God's faithfulness to His people. This is not metaphor, this is literal, physical resurrection. Ellen White saw actual bodies emerging from actual graves with supernatural power. She witnessed how modern technology will broadcast these events globally, leaving no doubt that divine intervention has occurred. The prophetess saw something even more remarkable. Among those rising in this special resurrection are some unexpected individuals. Some who pierced Christ rise to see Him coming in power and great glory, Ellen White revealed. They witness the fulfillment of His promise to return. But here's what will terrify the wicked. Ellen White saw that this resurrection exposes the reality of judgment. When the dead rise, the living understand that supernatural forces are at work, she observed. They can no longer deny that God exists and that he keeps his promises. The resurrection miracle proves everything. Ellen White saw how this event validates every prophecy, confirms every promise, and vindicates every faithful believer who has ever lived. The universe witnesses that God's word is true, she revealed. The prophetess witnessed how this special resurrection affects the living righteous. They are filled with holy boldness, Ellen White observed. Seeing death conquered, they lose all fear of their persecutors. They stand up boldly and proclaim the truth with power. But Ellen White saw that this miracle has the opposite effect on the wicked. They are filled with indescribable terror, she revealed. Seeing the dead rise, they understand that they too will face resurrection, but to judgment rather than glory. This resurrection changes the spiritual dynamics of earth forever. Ellen White saw how the presence of these glorified beings transforms the atmosphere of the planet. Heaven and earth seem to draw closer together, she observed. The prophetess witnessed how this event fulfills Daniel's prophecy. Many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. She saw this as a preview of the final resurrection of all the dead, but Ellen White revealed the most important truth about this resurrection miracle. It demonstrates that God's promises are absolutely reliable. Every faithful believer who has ever died will rise again, she assured. Death is not the end for those who trust in Christ. The resurrection miracle is coming. Ellen White saw this event happening in our lifetime. The special resurrection that precedes Christ's return will soon transform death from humanity's greatest fear into its greatest defeat. Are you among those who will rise in glory, or will you witness this miracle from the wrong side of eternity? Ellen White witnessed the most heart-wrenching moment in cosmic history, the final eternal separation between the saved and the lost. What she saw will shatter your understanding of judgment and reveal the ultimate consequence of every choice made in this life. When Jesus appears in the clouds of heaven, the final separation is complete. Ellen White saw the moment when humanity is divided forever. No more chances, no more opportunities, no more hope for those who chose wrong. This isn't a gradual process. Ellen White witnessed an instantaneous division that happens the moment Christ appears. The righteous living are caught up to meet the Lord in the air, she revealed, but the wicked are slain by the brightness of his coming. But here's what will devastate you. Ellen White saw families torn apart in this final moment. Husbands separated from wives, parents from children, brothers from sisters. The bonds of earthly love count for nothing when eternal choices are revealed. Could this separation be happening in your family right now? Ellen White saw how the great day reveals spiritual divisions that were hidden during ordinary times. Many who appeared to be united in faith are shown to have been serving different masters, she observed. The prophetess witnessed something that will challenge every assumption about salvation. The final separation is not based on church membership, good works, or religious activity. It is based solely on the character developed through relationship with Christ, Ellen White revealed. She saw professing Christians on both sides of the eternal divide. Some who preached eloquent sermons are among the lost, Ellen White observed. While some who were considered weak in faith are among the saved, God's standards are not man's standards. This is the most sobering truth ever revealed. Ellen White saw that the majority of those who consider themselves Christians will be on the wrong side of this separation. Many will cry, "Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name?" But he will say, "I never knew you." The prophetess witnessed the moment when all pretense is stripped away. Every mask falls off, Ellen White revealed. Every heart is revealed as it really is. There is no hiding, no pretending, no deception possible in the presence of infinite truth. But Ellen White saw something that will give hope to the faithful. Those who are ready for this moment experience indescribable joy. They have been longing for this day, she observed. For them, it represents not separation from loved ones, but reunion with their greatest love. The separation is based on one fundamental choice. Ellen White saw that it all comes down to whether individuals have surrendered their will completely to Christ or retained some area of self-rule. Those who held back something for themselves are separated from those who gave everything to God, she revealed. The prophetess witnessed how this separation affects different groups within Christianity. The remnant who kept God's commandments are caught up together, Ellen White observed, but those who chose convenience over obedience are left behind, regardless of their religious profession. This separation is happening right now in principle. Ellen White saw that the great day simply makes visible the spiritual choices that have already been made. Character cannot be changed after probation closes, she warned. What we are now determines which side of the separation we will be on. The prophetess saw that this final division answers every question about God's justice. The universe witnesses that every person receives exactly what they chose. Ellen White revealed, no one is lost against their will, and no one is saved without their consent. But Ellen White witnessed the most tragic aspect of this separation, the realization that comes too late. The lost understand what they rejected, she observed. They see the glory they forfeited and the love they spurned. Their anguish is beyond description. The final separation is not just about where people go, it's about who they have become. Ellen White saw that the saved and lost are fundamentally different types of beings by the time this moment arrives. The separation is eternal. Because character is eternal, Ellen White revealed. Those who chose selfishness become permanently selfish. Those who chose love become permanently loving. There can be no mixing of these opposite natures. The great day approaches with terrifying speed. Ellen White saw our generation standing on the brink of this final separation. Every day, every choice, every decision is moving us toward one side or the other. Which side of the great divide will you be on? The choice is yours, but not for much longer. If this revelation has awakened you to the urgency of preparation, subscribe and share this message with others who need this warning. The great day is coming. The separation is real. Choose wisely. Choose now. Your eternal destiny hangs in the balance.